が心の端に灯る
While finishing up her chores, Applejack had begun to think about her friend and her brother. Both of them had started to behave differently at around the same time. However, Rainbow Dash and Big Macintosh were completely different people. Rainbow Dash was loud, brash, and energetic, while Big Macintosh was quiet, shy, and calm. There was little to no possibility that the two sudden changes could be linked together. That wouldn't stop Applejack from finding out exactly what had gone into the two of them, though. Applejack had picked her final apple. It was around 5 o'clock. If she was lucky, she'd be able to jog over to Canterlot High and catch Dash before she had headed home. All she had wanted to do was apologize for making Dash so upset that morning, and possibly even find out what's been causing her change in behavior. After wiping the sweat off of her brow, Applejack tightened her blonde ponytail and adjusted her boots, ready to sprint back to school. She had seen some of the boys on the soccer team leaving from the front door, which gave Applejack hope that Rainbow was still there. She headed towards the soccer field to find Rainbow kicking the ball into a goal, all by herself. Her rainbow hair was in a high ponytail and she wore the Wonder Colts team jersey. She jumped and cheered for herself as she successfully made the goal, her ponytail bouncing with her. To be honest, Applejack found her actions quite cute, and she wore a smile on her face as she approached the young athlete. And the crowd goes wild! Woo! Rainbow Dash! Rainbow Dash! Rainbow had her eyes shut and her arms thrown into the air in celebration. Having fun there, superstar? Applejack smirked. While she wore a smile, deep down she was afraid that Rainbow was still angry with her. In the past, whenever the two had a small argument, Rainbow would hold a grudge for ages, and this time would probably be no different. Rainbow turned around, and when she had seen Applejack, the smile she wore never left her face. In fact, Applejack had thought that it grew. Oh, hey, Freckles! What brings you here so late? I would have thought you'd be back home making out with your precious apples, Rainbow said as she went to retrieve her soccer ball. She smirked at Applejack after she made her joke. Very funny, Shorty. Applejack grinned as she watched Rainbow's smug smirk turn into a pout. Rainbow was a lot shorter than Applejack and the rest of the girls, and Applejack had always taken the opportunity to pick fun at the shortest girl in the group. I just came over to see if you were still mad at me, Applejack looked at Rainbow. Oh, that? Nah, I got over that way back in 7th period. I'm sorry? Applejack must have heard that wrong. Rainbow wasn't still mad at her? She had come thinking that Rainbow would chew her out more. But she just let it go? Rainbow never let things go that easily or that fast, no matter how small or big the issue was. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you before I came to practice, but Pinks and Rare told me that you went home, Rainbow continued, kicking the ball in between her feet. Oh yeah, I had chores to do. I just came back to apologize for how I was acting earlier. I didn't mean to make it sound like I didn't want you around. I'm just not used to seeing you so early in the morning, you know? Applejack gave Rainbow a small smile, hoping that she'd understand. Yeah, I get it. I'm honestly surprised in myself too. I would have never thought I'd ever be early to Cranky's English class. Rainbow had a disgusted look on her face which caused Applejack to chuckle. Which leads me to my next point. I'm sorry too. I kind of exaggerated a bit today and made you feel guilty for something that isn't even that serious. I should have just let it go earlier and shouldn't have acted like that. Rainbow stopped kicking the ball as she spoke and looked at Applejack, who seemed to be having trouble forming words. She couldn't believe that Rainbow Dash had actually apologized. When it came to these issues, Rainbow was so stubborn and would never apologize for anything. Something was definitely going on with her, and Applejack was going to find out. Now, just a little different this time. Hello? AJ? Freckles? You still with me? Applejack blinked and saw Rainbow's hand in her face, looking concerned. You okay? You totally just spaced out for like 5 minutes. Rainbow exaggerated. I just can't believe it, Applejack said dramatically. Believe what? Did the words "I'm sorry" just come out of your mouth? I didn't even know that phrase existed in your vocabulary. Shut up! Rainbow responded by playfully punching Applejack in the shoulder. Shut up, Apple Smack! Seriously, who are you and what have you done with the real Rainbow Dash? She's standing right here. There is no one awesome enough to replace this. Rainbow playfully smirked. Couldn't have fooled me, Applejack scoffed. What is that supposed to mean? Come on now, I'm not the only one who has seen you change. You are like a completely different person, Applejack smiled. She wanted to provoke Rainbow and get her angry enough to keep the conversation going, but toned it down a bit so the conversation didn't end like it did that morning. Really? Yup. Applejack mimicked her older brother and noticed that Rainbow smiled a bit at the reference. Prove it then. Rainbow crossed her arms in front of her, expecting an answer. Well, there's the obvious change. You are coming to school earlier, and on top of that, you aren't as grumpy as before when you walk in, Applejack explained. And while Rainbow did seem to be paying attention, she couldn't help but watch Rainbow's magenta eyes dart back and forth, as if she were looking at something behind her. Go on, Rainbow pushed, looking behind Applejack. Then, you aren't calling Twy an egghead as much. You haven't teased her at all today. Not once, Applejack continued. I'm listening, Rainbow replied, looking behind Applejack quickly again. Applejack tried to continue, but was bothered by the fact that something must have been going on behind her. And when Rarity asked you, okay, that's enough. What's behind me? She started to turn her head to find out, but instead was met with two hands grabbing at her face and turning her head around. Nothing. It's just, you have something in your hair, that's all. Here, let me get it for you. Rainbow said frantically, her face almost in a panic-like expression. She reached towards behind Applejack's ears and pinched at something in her ponytail before quickly flicking it off of her finger. Okay, I got it. Applejack stole Rainbow's soccer ball from under her feet and began to play with it herself before picking it off the ground. Just something in my hair, huh? Applejack raised an eyebrow, showing Rainbow that she wasn't convinced. Yep. Rainbow forced a laugh, almost blushing from embarrassment. Yeah, okay. I gotta get back to my chores now. I'll talk to you about this in the morning, you hear? Applejack said slowly. Cool! See you later, Freckles! Rainbow turned to grab water from the bleachers, while Applejack turned and began to walk out, Rainbow's soccer ball still in her hand. It had taken Applejack a few moments to realize that Rainbow's soccer ball was still with her, and she was only a few steps away from the school. Applejack figured it was better to just give Dash her ball back at that moment, rather than waiting until the next day. So, she headed back into the school and went towards the field, expecting to see Rainbow still by herself. However, she was met with a shocking surprise. There in the middle of the soccer field stood her older brother, Big Macintosh. He seemed to be having a friendly conversation with Rainbow Dash. Applejack watched from behind some bleachers as her brother and Dash laughed and passed the soccer ball he had brought between one another. She noticed Rainbow getting red in the face at times, but not out of embarrassment. The pair each seemed to be enjoying each other's company. Applejack smiled as she watched her brother and her friend play with each other. She couldn't grasp why her brother wanted this to be a secret. However, the smile that was spread on her face quickly disappeared as Mac came closer towards Dash and they began to talk. As Rainbow made a comment, she began to get frustrated and started to ramble on about nonsense. Applejack watched in horror as her brother cut Rainbow's rant off with a deep kiss on the lips. Rainbow didn't seem to mind as she smiled into the kiss and wrapped her arms around Big Macintosh's neck. She quickly and stealthily made her way out of the soccer field and back home to Sweet Apple Acres. Rainbow was going to have to get her soccer ball another time,